Okay, great. Now we have a slot here on discussion and inputs and feedback to GHRSST, and I think we have one Gwenelle. You have raised something to present that could be lead for a discussion of at least a point to be raised here. If we can get you out of that, Mike. But okay, but to the others in the room and online, if you have any questions, and in particular online, if you have questions that we could should be brought up in the discussion related to the task team reporting and the sort of the functioning of the task teams, then please put it in the chat or think about the questions also in the room, and we'll bring forward after Gwenelle's presentation. Yeah, go ahead, Gwenelle. Is it online?
Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's better there. Yeah. So the point I want to raise is about color palette, color charts that we had discussion. Sorry, first to present myself, maybe I'm the outreach officer for the OCSAF. And the question I raise in name of OCSAF, actually. We had a discussion during our last member team meetings, considering that we want to have one single color chart for all our products, to present all our products. And then we came to, we did discuss the color chart. So the 5 images here on the top are what you actually will see on the OCSAF website, because each participating institute uses its own rainbow color chart. And then we discussed which one should we use. And there was kind of discussion between one accessibility team that will say that it has to be accessible for colorblind. Yes, of course. It has to be as much as possible black and white print, legible, and no color jump. While the current color charts came from a former GHRSST consensus, and we want to have as much feature visible as possible. So we came to the consensus that we can't choose, that we need a broader consensus between all SST users, and then we shall follow a GHRSST recommendation of color charts. And then we had, just after this meeting, we had a documentation, product documentation comment about the color chart used, which is the one on the left side, the Météo France rainbow. To have, so it was actually Anno Carol that did the comment and asked us to have a more accessible color chart. And with the EUMETSAT SST team, we came with to the point that I shall bring some kind of food for the snake. So I made some try to propose something. So first, there is no ideal color chart. So I tried to make some proposition, and you do what you want with that. So what I basically did, so we agreed on the red, yellow, blue reverse as it is user-friendly. Non-SST users will understand it with the first sight, which it doesn't with a rainbow. It's not obvious. And then I try to find a way to have as much features of the temperature visible. And therefore, I just switch the yellow from the median of the chart to the average temperature of the sea. because then there's much less red on visible, and then we see much more features, much more differences. Just a proposition. So yeah, that was you met that proposition.
Thanks, Gwenel. Thanks for presenting this, and yeah, I think it's brave to enter into this topic of consensus on color bars, color maps. Are there any sort of any reflections on such a color bars, or any comments, or are there any other experiences, any other agencies that or SST producers that have experiences with using or producing color bars like these? Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually don't see the Bay of Bengal or the Arabian Sea, which are quite warm. So what kind of, there are a lot of frontal features that are getting formed in the northern Bay of Bengal and in the northwestern Arabian Sea, which looks to be quite uniform here. Means we cannot identify those. Maybe I don't know. Means that means if that picture of the Indian Ocean was also there, then we could have seen what kind of impression this color bar is making for that region, because there are a lot of thermal fronts and gradients in that region, but the temperatures are warm over there. So I don't know, means this kind of a color bar work.
So it could be nice to see a global plot of SST. Using this color bar. I don't know if that's available.
So there's one thing that I forgot to mention is we decided to propose something for a global view overview. So it's not, we try to find a way to have global SST visualization, but it will not be adapted to regional features, I guess. So if you answer the question.
Thanks. Yeah. More questions in the back.
Hi, Christo Whittle from CSR. I was just wondering why you have dropped the green emphasis from this color bar, because I know it's a global palette, but what we are losing is some definition around the upwelling zones between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius. And I think including a little bit of green there would help with that differentiation, at least along the eastern boundaries.
Sure, I understood the question.
We
dropped the green. You mean we dropped the way we dropped the green?
Yes, yes, I'm told now.
Yeah. For the 8% of the masculine population that don't see it.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Great. Chris?
I am green-blue challenged, so one of your 8%, maybe not the most extreme case. But the basic problem with, I think you've done a very good job here if you're only going to restrict yourself to 2 colors. But there's basically less information content in this image than there is using the existing approach, even for me. And also, a color bar isn't just applied to the global scale. And the thing with the existing thing with its relatively even steps is that you can apply it across any range and you get the full discrimination across its range. Now, I understand the accessibility argument, but basically, I think my view on all these accessible ones I've seen so far is that they don't have the same information content, and I don't like them personally. So that's why.
Yeah, I try to find a middle way between. I agree on the most accessible palettes. You have no. There is no little features visible. It's very difficult to see the features, and I try to find a balance between rainbow and jet and thermal. which is for me we don't see much detail. And then the second point is really I try to put myself in the non-SST specialist, and having this kind of color chart is much more understandable. So, to repeat myself.
Okay.
So,
more comments? Yeah.
Have you given, I'm Pallavi Goveka from Bureau of Metrology. Have you given thought about SST anomaly? If we're using the same color bar for SST, and how does that?
yeah, that's one of the problem with this palette, actually. There are two problems with this palette. One is that it looks like a lot like anomaly, indeed. And the second one is that it's not accessible for achromatopsia and black and white printers. Yeah.
Andy?
So is this what you might call a straw man? I mean, one bit I've kind of missed is what's the process by which we are supposedly agreeing? Is there, what, did I miss something? You know, we're looking at this thinking, that's okay if you want to look at mid-latitude kind of temperature structures, but are you going to keep generating them and we'll all vote on them eventually? What's the process going to be for deciding on it?
Well, yeah, maybe I can answer. I guess the reason for bringing this up here is, I mean, you have a process within the OSISAF to produce these try to come up with a new color bar, and I think you wanted to raise it here and see if there is any consensus, and if we could make any recommendations. It's probably based on the comments that's probably going to be challenging, but at least to give some feedback to Gwenal and his team in the OSISAF.
Yeah,
right.
The consensus we reach as OSISAF is we need your consensus.
And how are you going to get it?
If we can, I mean, to raise it, if we could get any
you don't
recommendation.
mean we want your consensus right now, do you?
I come with a proposition. It's just a proposition. That's it.
Well, I hate choosing color bars. So if you're going to do the work, okay, that's great. But you know, it's kind of what's the process going to be? You're going to keep generating. So one of these things I feel like I'll know it when I see it, sort of thing. You know, so I don't know what your just how are you going to do it? How are you going to get our consensus?
And coming from you initiated this, and I can.
Yeah, so I guess I have to comment here. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously not an easy process, but we wanted to highlight that we've been thinking about it. And yeah, there's definitely some pros and cons here. So I don't think it's going to be solved today. But it's good to get everybody's feedback initially. We can definitely think about it some more. I mean, it could be that perhaps we even put a very small task team together. It wouldn't be a very long one. It could maybe be sort of 6 months in length, something like that, to try to bring all these points together and find a solution. It might be that we need more than one solution for different regions or for different purposes or different applications. If we have a global view and there may be some, you know, or the papers or web presentations, things like that, we could have a set of different solutions, but also trying to fit with the accessibility aims that we've got, but taking into all the considerations. So maybe that's what I would suggest. But today I think it's just good to get some feedback, and if you want to discuss it some more in the coffee breaks, then we can do that as well.
Yeah. So I think, and time is also running, so I think we should close this topic if it's okay with everyone. And suggested we can discuss this during the week in the coffee break, so maybe we can return to it on Friday, wrapping up if we should have a small task team. So yeah, have some talks between you, and if the people that are interested and burning for this topic, try to gather, and we can see if the task team is the way forward. Okay. Are there any other topics for discussion for bringing up here in this time slot? I have one. John, you also have one. Good. Let's take you first, John.
As you might imagine, those of you who know me, I'm going to raise the issue of uncertainties in all of the task teams. That uncertainties have been mentioned in some of them, but what I want to raise is the fact that work is progressing at the level 1 level through MPL and UMETSAT and other places where we're beginning to generate level 1s with multiple uncertainty components, not just an uncertainty, but a random component of uncertainty and a systematic component of uncertainty. And you can get more complex if you need to. So I think the task team should begin thinking at a very, not necessarily a rapid way, but it should be in your minds that at some point the uncertainties may get more complex and goes through the retrieval process. And then if you start doing averaging, level 3, or you do level 4, in the future, you may find that it's not just an uncertainty, but it's uncertainties at the beginning.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. Good point, John. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay. I have another topic. I'm in the chair, so I can bring this up there. It's about the sort of, well, first of all, the number and the structure of the task teams. We had I think it was in the India meeting, I think we had a discussion we had a focus on high resolution SST. And we had a sort of consensus that we should establish a high resolution SST task team. I think, as far as I remember, I think Emmanuel from IFOMER was sort of in leading that task. But I don't think, well, as in the GPO at least, we haven't reported or seen that much progress on that task team. I wonder if that's or establishing that task team. I wonder if that's the case, and if that's because people are busy, or if it's not needed anymore, or if we should try and put some focus on that. Maybe, and if that's the case, then maybe have someone to help Emmanuel in starting up this task team. I know Pia from starting up the high latitude task team, it takes a bit of an effort, so it's fairly understandable. If nothing has happened yet, but so one question: is there still an interest in having such a high resolution SST task team now that in the light of Fishna and coming up soon? Daniele.
Yes, Daniele from CNR ISMAR. As you might have seen from my presentation, and I don't know if Jorge could make it, but we've been discussing quite a lot about our interest for this task team. So basically, our interest was related to a series or a few cross meetings between the ICTT and the high resolution task team. So yes, from our side, there's a strong interest. I mean, observations from future and even current very high resolution missions at some point will also be integrated in some level 3 or level 4 products. So I think it's crucial to keep an eye from an intercomparison perspective based on these incoming data. So I don't want to promise. I want to help actively in this task team, but certainly we are interested. And if for any reason the task team is not progressing, we can imagine to have an additional task within the ICTT related to this. That's okay. Sounds reasonable.
Thanks, Daniele. And maybe I should just briefly mention that Jorge online says that he would definitely be in favor of such a high resolution task team. Also one coordinator with the coastal task team, and he can come back to that once we fix the sound at some later point. So yeah, and Chris?
Chris Merchant at Reading in England. I think I forgot to say my name the last time, so apologies for that. I wonder whether high resolution task team is the right way, that the high resolution sensors that are coming will all be observing the oceans only in the exclusive economic areas of the countries. So it's very much a sort of coastal zone, boundary upwelling type zone. And I wonder whether formulating a task team as studying the ability to observe and use products and users in those areas might be more productive and interesting, in sort of keeping the data production considerations strongly tied to the users in a joint task team might be more effective. I wonder, with that as an alternative proposition.
Reframing it to a
coastal zone,
zone task team, I guess that's also what Jorge online is probably suggesting or is pointing at. So thanks. Yeah.
David Wethy, University of South Carolina. There are a number of technical issues associated with super high resolution instruments that I think are extraordinarily important for the SST community. Most of these new instruments that are being developed have been, their specifications were defined by the land surface community, which has much looser constraints on instrument noise and instrument accuracy than the SST community needs. What this means is there are extreme technical issues that have to be overcome in order to have products that are actually really of use to the SST community in terms of being able to resolve the rate of change of surface temperature, et cetera. And so I think we really do need to have something in place to deal with those kinds of technical issues. Otherwise, the instruments may be of much greater use to the land surface community than the sea surface.
Okay, thanks a lot for your comments. I agree. So I hear strong sort of interest, strong support for a task team. And we at the GPO, we are of course very happy to help facilitating this. I think we need maybe someone, not now, but during this week to step forward and try to help coordinating with Emmanuel on establishing such a task team. So, but at least that's good to have your views and comments. Okay, is there anything else? Otherwise, time is also running. We should probably get to lunch.
Yeah, and I would say if anyone is interested in sharing this task team, just come to me and then we can sort of work out the logistics here. But nothing. Okay, great. Thanks, and thanks so much for all the nice input this morning. And again, apologies for the technical issues we have had, especially for use online. We really hope to solve this in the lunch break.